I'm just going to go ahead and tie in this upper one first. Start the ligature tie. Give it just a little bit of a pull. A couple of wraps. Go back. Grab hold. And then again, stabilize the bracket and the wire while you're doing the twists so that you don't inadvertently pull any brackets off. So I'm stabilizing the bracket and the wire and giving it just a little pull. And now she can definitely feel the pressure on that tooth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I made another bend on the upper one, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the one. And again, I'm going to stabilize the wire. I'm going to push the opposite end in or towards the bracket just a little bit with my finger so that it takes up all the slack. And then I'm going to stabilize the tooth and the wire. Give it a little pull. And now I have those two wire bends, which should cause those teeth to move. Now, because I had extraction space that we had closed, even though the T-loop had kept that space closed for quite some time, I'm actually going to ligature tie lace all the way across upper 6 to 6 in order to make absolutely sure that that 4 extraction space stays closed. So I'm just going to take the ligature tie and I'm going to put it around the molar, and then I'm just going to lace, and you can do this in various ways, but what I'll do in this case is I'm going to stop at the 3 for you guys and give it a couple of twists and a pull. And again, I have it ligature tie laced, and I'm going to stabilize the 3 bracket with my finger, and I'm going to do it just like I normally would. And then I'm going to start that process all over again. Okay, and I had put an elastic on here just to stabilize the wire in the beginning so it didn't move around. I'll take that off. I'm going to go all the way to the opposite 3. And I'm pulling the wire just a little bit as I wrap it around the teeth so that it takes up any slack. Okay, so now I have it ligature tie lace from the upper 6 to the 3, and I tightened it right there. Then I went all the way across to the other 3, pulling on the wire just a little bit as I went across, taking up the slack. Now I'm going to stabilize the upper right 3 and kind of cinch and make that wire nice and taut. And then lastly, I just have to take this same wire and wrap it around this side. A little bit harder on the right side for a right-hander if you're starting on the left. A little bit harder access, but basically the same. Again, tuck it under so that it gets out of the way of the cheek. Have the suction ready for the distal ends, just in case you don't actually catch it. Make sure you have it. And so now we have a lower wire, a lower 018 stainless, pre-sized for her, and there was no extractions on the lower arch, so there's no extraction space to close. These teeth are quite stable. I won't have to lace these. And as a matter of fact, I don't think there's going to be too many finishing bends here on the lower arch. So the wire wants to come out of the slot just a little bit to the buckle on this buckle segment right here, but not too bad. The lower right 5 is a crown. It's in very, very good position. It had a bracket on it at one point, and the bracket came off, and I decided to just leave it off. The tooth stayed in very, very good position. We're most probably going to leave that bracket off for the duration of treatment. So you don't always have to have a bracket on every single tooth. And you can either use a math-owl, like I'm using right now, to put these on, or of course you can use a fast elastic placement instrument. And either one works equally well. And let's go back and forth with each instrument.
Okay.
And of course there's various ways that these go on, but you can do it quite quickly if you have someone loading them for you. And we pre-sized this one, so this one was fairly short, which is good. I don't really anticipate too many finishing bends in the lower, so I just cut those just to size for now. So the lower 018 finishing wire transitioned from a 1925 to an 018 finish. It required just all elastics. The upper was a transition from a TPA with T-loops and frictionless mechanics to an 018 finishing wire with a couple of finishing bends, a full upper 6-to-6 lace, and it looks pretty good. And then lastly, the next visit for this case will be just 1 month for what we call continue finish. I'll see how the upper left 1 and upper left 2 did. Go ahead and bite for me. She's basically in class 1 with a decent overjet. The right buccal segments look really, really good, so that's in good shape. So we probably won't have to do too much wire bending on this case, or too much more, let's say. But I would point her at 1 month, and probably this case is going to be finished within 90 days.